everyone, Stuart with Franklin Hill Ventures. I really appreciate you stopping by our update video this week. Just a couple of things before we get started. First off, if you enjoy these videos or find them helpful, please click the like button and also consider subscribing. That really helps me out as I look to build my YouTube presence. And so if you could do that, I would really appreciate it. Second, I'm now in my 5-day countdown to going full-time reselling. So Friday, September 3rd will be my last day. So Saturday, September 4th, I'll wake up a full-time reseller. So really looking forward to that, starting to get really excited. And I'm also happy that this month, I think I said last week that we were on pace to have a top 2 or 3 month. Well, now with 2 days left in the month, we're actually on pace for this to be our best month ever. So really good momentum to carry in as I look to go full-time reselling starting in September. So really pumped about that. So let's go ahead and jump into what sold this week. And let me get my screen shared. And we will start with the booth items this week. I usually start with the online sales, but let me go ahead and pull up the booth. And what I wanted to point out here, it's kind of buried behind some other stuff, is this blue chair. This sold for $75, so a really good sale. But one thing I really wanted to mention with this, just kind of a tip for everybody. I know a lot of times people don't like to go either to the last day of yard sales or the last day of estate sales. We pick up so much stuff, especially at estate sales when they have their 50% off day. That's where we pick this chair up. So we got it half off, and we've gotten so much stuff that way. And of course you pay less, so there's always value to be found, whether it's the second day of a yard sale or the second day of an estate sale. I will mention, I don't know if I mentioned this in a previous video or not, this printer's tray also sold recently. It didn't actually sell this week, but I believe that sold for $45. Really cool old printer's tray. It actually had the font name written on the drawer handle, which you can't see it in this picture. And that sold at our Bearden location here in Knoxville. So the next thing also from Bearden would be this green candy dish, nice satin finish. I picked that up at a yard sale. And one thing I wanted to mention about that, I bought that as part of a huge bundle of stuff I bought at a yard sale. So a lot of times I know people, how much is this? How much is that? I tend to just start setting stuff in a pile and don't ask prices if it's not marked. A lot of times things are marked, but then once you have your pile at the end, then you've got some, negotiation room if you've bought a lot of stuff and, just how much for this whole pile. And you'll generally get things cheaper that way. So anyway, a nice sale at $30 on the green candy dish. So that's all I had to share from the booth this week. I mean, we had a lot of sales, but not a lot of big sales in the booth. So let's jump over to our online sales. And the first thing I'll mention, I actually showed one of these last week as well. This is the last piece of the Hawthorne Village Thomas Kincaid Christmas pieces. This was the Santa's Workshop piece. It sold for $30 plus shipping on Facebook Marketplace, which is what all of the items sold for. And I picked all these up as part of a house cleanup that we did. Just a relationship that I built with somebody. They passed my name along to somebody else and they gave me a call to come look at stuff in their house. So just keep in mind, reselling is all about building relationships, and you never know when somebody's going to be a good source to either buy stuff from or give your name to somebody else that you might be able to buy some stuff from. I still have one more of these to list, but I have to do some gluing of some pieces back together. So I'm not sure if that one will sell for as much, but it should still sell. So make sure you're listing Christmas stuff, especially now as we start moving towards Q4, but really Christmas stuff sells year round. So the next thing, and this was an Etsy sale, and this is the type of thing that a lot of people will overlook. I got this at an estate sale, and it's a Magic Fingers pea and bean sheller from the 70s. And you actually attach your hand mixer to this little metal bar right here, or it could be a drill. And that spins some rollers in here. And then as you can see in the picture, you just basically feed the beans through there, and the beans drop down into this little tray in the bottom, and the shells just, get spit back out the end. So this sold for $30. And as mentioned, I picked it up at an estate sale. I actually got there late, and a lot of people would overlook this. But anytime you can find, I guess you would call this an appliance, but vintage appliances or, vintage kitchen tools still in the box, those will generally sell pretty well. I really didn't know it would sell for this much, so I was pleasantly surprised. And then the next item was also an Etsy sale, and it is a Royal Worcester Strawberry Fair souffle dish. A mouthful to say. This is an item that I bought a whole, I guess, probably a bunch of place settings of Strawberry Fair. I've sold a lot of it. This was one of the few pieces I had left. It was kind of just a one-off piece that was in the stuff. This sold for $25, and based on buying that whole set, did not really have a whole lot in it. It did take a while to sell, but eventually sold. And as mentioned, $25 plus the buyer paid shipping. As mentioned last week, I'm was getting close to 900 sales. I inched a little closer this week up to 898. So 2 more sales, and I'll be at 900 on Etsy. So pretty fired up about that. And then the last sale was my best sale of the week, and probably one of my best sales that I've had this month, I believe. This was the original Dune trilogy set, and these are the book club editions. So you have the first 3 books here, and then you also had the God Emperor of Dune, which was the 4th book written in 1981. So that one was written much later. So these were, I don't know if they're really considered first editions or not. They are first editions of the book club edition. But even though they are not like the true first editions, these sold on an auction that I started at $100, ended up with 22 bids, as you can see here, and sold for $255. It actually went for a lot more than I thought it would. I thought it was going to go for about $150 or $160 based on the comps I'd seen. But this is a good example of make sure you're keeping kind of what's going on in pop culture. I know there's a new Dune movie coming out pretty soon, so I don't know if that played into driving the price up. But in any case, a really good sale, and really excited to get that much for those books. I still have some other books that I got at the same yard sale where I got these. I have a Stephen King, The Shining, first edition. I'm not sure how much that'll sell for yet. Still doing a little research. It has a few condition issues with the dust cover, but should sell well. I think I mentioned last week some of the James Bond books that I got at that same yard sale. So, really nice pickup. Definitely don't overlook books when you see them out. So I believe that is all that I have for this week. So check back next week with us, and hopefully we'll have some more good sales. That'll be, we'll be going into our first full week of being reselling full time, come a week from tomorrow. I'm doing this on Sunday. So tomorrow will be Monday. And then a week from Monday, we'll start kind of my first real work week of the full-time reselling. And I'm currently working on a schedule, and I still plan to do some videos. I did the first video on kind of the planning that went into doing the reselling full-time. The next video, and I've written most of it out, is on the goals that I have that I need to reach to do the full-time. And then I've also going to probably do one on kind of my daily schedule. So anyway, I appreciate everybody stopping by. Make sure you check out our website at www.franklinhillventures.com. As seen on the sign behind us here, there you'll find links to our social media sites, as well as all the marketplaces we sell on. And anyway, we will talk to you next time.